Would you like to save $360 on your WordPress hosting and get better performance? Let's have a look. With the Google Core Web Vitals update soon, performance is going to greatly affect page ranking, and this should matter for every site owner. So using a tool like Pagespeed, we can now aim to get a score of 90 to 100. How can I get a high Pagespeed score for my WordPress site? 3 options. 1, get better hosting. 2, stop using page builders like Elementor and Divi. And 3, get a fast caching solution. So you may be saying, well, I have Siteground, or I have WPEngine, or I have Kinsta, which are all good, but they can become expensive. So Kinsta over a year can cost you $360. So as an alternative, we're going to look today at Google Cloud with Lightspeed caching and Cloudflare. These all are excellent options and will give you a site that performs better than Kinsta. Okay, let's get started. So go to Google Cloud with your new account, and the first thing you're going to do is create a virtual machine. So for that, we need to go down to Compute Engine and create yourself an instance. Give it a name. Choose a location, somewhere close to you. You want to choose from the first generation devices, and the F1 Micro is the shared one, which gives you 3 hours every month, the whole month. You don't pay anything. And then you want to choose Ubuntu. It can be anything, but we're using Ubuntu 20.04, and an SSD disk for faster reading and writing. You want to open up the ports for web traffic. Now here's where you want to paste in my script, which I'm posting in the description. And this tells the machine what to do when it boots up, and it will load PHP and Lightspeed and everything you need. In networking, you want to just give this a tag, which is WordPress VM. Great, so now it's created. Next, of course, you want to add a firewall rule. So we're going to create one, first of all, for Lightspeed. This will be a 7080 port, which will allow access to the dashboard from anywhere, which is why we're doing 0.0.0. Next, we're going to open up the port for MySQL so that the VM can talk to your database internally. So this time we're going to give the IP range 10.0.0/24, and this is to allow just internal IPs to talk to each other. And those are the ports that we need for MySQL. Great, so ports are ready. Last, we just want to SSH. We can do it here locally in Google Cloud, and we're just going to get a password for the dashboard of Lightspeed. So copy this command and give it a name and a password. Now, you may have to wait a little while before this is ready, because the startup script does take a couple of minutes, which I forwarded in this video. Okay, once it's all done, take the IP address of your VM and just at the end put in the port number, so :7080. Here you're going to put in the username and password you just created, and we're in. So everything is configured through the startup script, but you do need to go into the default listener and just add in your IP address or domain name if you have it already. Good. Save and restart the Lightspeed. Perfect. So now if we go to the site, there we go, you'll find that WordPress is up and running, but there's no database. So WordPress doesn't know where the database is because, well, there isn't one. So next we're going to just copy ourselves the internal IP of the WordPress virtual machine, and we're going to create ourselves a MySQL database. Okay, so just give it a name, and yep, that will do. And then just any password. I'm going to write password. Make sure that the region, this is important, is in the same zone as the virtual machine. And here you want to downgrade it. So a shared core with just one virtual CPU, SSD, just 10 gigabytes. That's fine. Take off public IP. In the private IP, we're going to choose the default network, which you might have to create. And then in the network, we're just going to add in the IP we copied from the virtual machine. And that is done. Create. Now this can take some time, but I'm going to forward it for you. Done. So just copy yourself the internal IP of the database, and here we're just going to create ourselves a database called Wordpress inside of our MySQL. So back on the WordPress site, we're going to use root for username, the password we created. We're going to add in the internal IP, and we're going to run the installation. And we're in. Just give it a name, give it a username, create a password. That'll do. Add in your email. Yeah, and install. So we can log in, and that should be done. WordPress is installed. Okay, I hope that was helpful. So now you've got your site up and running. I think I'll make another video where I'll explain how you can add CDN with Cloudflare so that it's available in many regions. I will also show you how to add SSL so you can have certificates and HTTPS. And then perhaps later I'll show you how to do your caching plugin within WordPress. There's quite a few settings you have to go through. Maybe even I'll make a video about how to do multiple sites on the same server. Thank you.